it says excellent connection. We've got the video, hopefully coming up. It's usually about a 10-second delay.
Alright.
There we go.
Yeah, Navarre Raiders, stand up. Get on your feet, mad child, baby. You know, who wanna rumble with the Raiders? Let's go, yeah, let's go. Navarre Raiders, get up, let's go. You don't wanna rumble with the Raiders. You don't wanna rumble with the Raiders. Yeah, you wanna rumble with the Raiders. Come on. Come on, rumble with the Raiders. Rumble with the Raiders. Yes, rumble with the Raiders. Come on, hey, yo, it's lights out. Whenever they turn the lights on, enough with the talking, baby boy, the fight's on. You wanna rumble with the Raiders? Listen, it's nothing, baby, we running through you haters. And you can hate us, cause we keep chips on our shoulder. You know why we the best, but now we gotta show you. Listen, better watch how you approach us. Y'all bucks to us and we'll stump you cockroaches. Simple and plain, quit is what you should really do. Put your game face on, it's about to get physical. This here's a game of strength, patience, determination. And you can never win if you lacking the motivation. And now you heard it from the source. Losing is not an option, you can hear it in our voice. We only play this game to win, and we gon' put it on the line every time and every chance we get. Cause we may never get this chance again. So when you rumble with the Raiders, understand you on the field with men. Why play if you ain't playing to win? You just wasting the Raiders' time. Listen, shall I say it again? Yeah, you don't wanna rumble with the Raiders. You don't wanna rumble with the Raiders. You wanna rumble with the Raiders. Come on, come on, come on. You wanna rumble with the Raiders. You wanna rumble with the Raiders. Yes, you wanna rumble with the Raiders. Come on.
Well, we do want to rumble with the Raiders this year. Bob, we have football, and this is Irish Bill Sports. We are going off in a different venue this year. We are going YouTube. We are going worldwide.
Worldwide, so our friends in Sweden can pick us up.
Most definitely. Nothing against what we have used in the past. We're just trying to skim down the budget a little bit, and hopefully this will allow us to come into more homes with a lot better connection that we've had in the past. But this is Irish Bill, and this is Seminole Bob. We are your broadcast team for the Navarre Raider football on Friday nights, and we got a good game coming up. Any game is a good game coming up this Friday night against Milton.
Yeah, it's certainly been a long time coming. I don't think any of us. Some of us were even speculating we even have football, but
you start out with a rival, and you'll have to refresh my memory. Are they in the same district as we?
Well, unfortunately, this year there are no districts.
Okay.
But no, they stayed in 6A when we went to 7A. So they're in the district with Pace and Gulf Breeze and I believe Escambia, Washington, West Florida dropped down to 5A. I think Mosley is in with them as well. I may be wrong because I'm still trying to figure out some of those configurations. But actually, I'll pull it up right here on our site, Irish Bill Sports. IrishBillSports.com, and this is your home for Navarre Raider football. And every Wednesday night, the first showing of our broadcast, our weekly show, is the 23rd of September. We'll be doing it for Culver's. And we want to thank Culver's once again, Randy and Honey Smith for allowing us to come. This is the fourth year. I'm going to be at Culver's. Hard to believe that they've been open that long. But if you go to my page in the district standings, I'll try to keep these updated, but there will be no district games. Milton falls in with Escambia, Fort Walton Beach, Gulf Breeze, Mosley, Pace, and Washington.
Okay.
They are in Class 6A as District 1, Class 6A. But unfortunately this year there are no districts because of what's going on with COVID-19. And that's a dirty word around my house.
a lot of things have happened since the Crestview game, huh?
And to use the old Kennedy expression, that's water under the bridge.
Yeah.
But we have had 2 weeks of games so far. Class 1A through 4A have started already. Baker looking strong as ever. I mean, they put a hurting on South Fulton last night. Well, we've got a lot of things coming up this year. Like I said, we're switching over to YouTube, and hopefully we'll have interactive on YouTube. So during the games, you'll be able to do live chat with us. You have questions, we'll be able to take them on our show, and during the broadcast, we'll try to get to them. The only thing you won't see this year is the actual layover. It shows the scoreboard and the time and the quarter and everything. So we're going to try to give you as up-to-date scores and time during the game as possible. Let you know that we're down to an 8-game schedule, but we'll only be broadcasting 6 of those games. We'll start out with Milton, then we'll have 2 weeks off as the Raiders go on the road to Pace and Gulf Breeze, and then we'll be back. We'll be back in week 4. As you look on the calendar on the web page. It'll show our schedule. In week 4, we'll be back home. We'll play Choctaw for senior night. That would be October 9th. And then back on the road to Niceville. Niceville's let us come to their house this year. Talk with Grant Thompson. He is allowing us to come back in. Then we come back home and face a new opponent, Enterprise. They're off to a good start, 3-0 on the season already up in Alabama. So that will be homecoming game. Then our last game will be on the road at Crestview, and I talked with Coach Hatton 2 weekends ago, and he's allowing us to come up to Crestview and do our broadcast. So we'll get 6 of the 8 games, and plus our weekly show. And any time we want to do an extra show, we can always come over here to the Hamel studio, the Irish Girl studio here at the Hamel household here in Navarre. But we look forward to a lot of big things in Raider football this year. And let's talk a little bit about some of the returning players. You know, the one individual that's on everybody's mind coming in is Grady Kelly.
Grady went to a lot of all-star camps and got a lot of recognition. Signed. He signed or is he committed?
He's committed to Colorado State.
My wife thinks I need to be committed, but
mine too, most of the time.
I don't know if CSU not playing this year will have any bearing on that. Until they sign on the dotted line, you know, anything can happen. But Grady is beginning and continuing to show his talents. Nationwide, people are beginning to recognize that he is really a great talent. He'll be a leader on defense this year again.
Well, one thing I think that he'll cement his decision at Colorado State is he was actually born in Greeley, Colorado, which is just down the road from Fort Collins. So he's got a lot of family that. Go ahead, take this call.
Down in Colorado. Anyway, so Navarre, Jay Walls does not have an empty cabinet. He's got a lot to deal with. He's got a lot of turning players. A lot of stars on both sides of the ball. And I certainly will make Navarre very competitive. We faced some teams this year that we normally don't play. Choctaw, Fort Walton. For years, I always thought that Fort Walton was just a natural rivalry. I know Gulf Breeze is just down Highway 98, but so is Fort Walton, and so looking forward to those games as well. So we kick off the year with a rival.
Thanks.
And so that always can be trouble when you start out with a rival in ball games. And Milton is usually you try to start maybe some start off the year with some lower classification teams at the beginning of the year, and then get into your rivals. So the Panthers will come into the stadium in Navarre. They travel very well, just up Highway 87,
and we shall have a whatever it's deemed a whatever size whatever size is allowed, 50% or whatever capacity. They certainly will travel well and fill up the visitor side of the stands.
If you see us messing around, we're just trying to work on the audio to make sure that there's not much of an echo, so that we have a good sounding broadcast out to the folks that will be following us this year. So this is just our initial broadcast to make sure that we get everything going right, and make sure that it's good sound and good picture and good quality, because that's what we depend on is provide you with the best video and audio experience of our Raider football.
Yeah, absolutely. And we certainly hope that by the Pace of Golf Breeze games, perhaps we might be able to broadcast them, but we'll just see how it all plays out, and certainly go from there. But looking forward to another year of football. College football is underway. We've got 2 weeks there. It feels like the whole world has started in Irishville sports. We're playing catch up, but that's not the case, because just the way our high school games locally start.
Most definitely. Like I said, we've had some games already. Week 1 scores. South Walton took out Walton. County battle 35-28. Baker took out Lighthouse Private Christian Academy 35-12. Weewalk gets on the board in week 1 against Cottondale. 33-18. Chipley 20, Graceville nothing. Freeport 20, Holmes County 13. Port St. Joe beats Mariana 34-26. Madison County takes out Jefferson County 47-0. Sneeze 27, Liberty County 0. North Bay Haven dropped 1 to Franklin County 7-0. North Monroe Day 54-0 over St. John Country Day. After week 1, they canceled the rest of their season. St. John Country Day due to lack of numbers on their roster and just kids getting hurt. And the Florida High Taylor County game was canceled in week 1 because of COVID-19.
I think Cottondale too, their next 2 ball games are also postponed because of COVID situations. So we shall see. We tell our young people at our school, mask up and social distance and wash your hands, especially all the students. But I tell the athletes that come in down the hallway. We don't want you to miss any. Excuse me. Mercy, you can't do that during a broadcast. Miss any sports because of that. We're just living in a whole different world, and coaches have had to adjust on the fly, and we've all had to adjust on the fly in our daily lives. The way we work, the way you work, the way I work as a teacher, teaching face-to-face kids and kids over the internet. But this year Jay Walls has a lot of players coming back, a lot of talent, and we hope to see many of you at the stadium. If not, certainly you can watch us on irishvillesports.com, on our YouTube channel. There'll be a link, I assume, on our page for you all to catch us and automatically just come on and watch us, both audio and video. I noticed last night the Baker boys put a whippet on the Seahawks, like 62-28. I believe that was a home game for Baker, but Yeah, the Gators are off to a great start. Walton's 1-1, and as their season progresses, a little story about that opening game Baker had against Lighthouse PCA. At halftime, I think the score was tied, or Lighthouse may have been in front, and Matt Brunson challenged his crew to get it going, because Lighthouse was ready and primed for an upset, scoring twice in the first half against Baker. And it was a very close ball game in week 1. And then Baker does what Baker does. The Brunson boy, I think he's a running.
Yeah, Joe running back plays linebacker on defense and running back. You get a lot of two-way players in Class 1A.
Right, and so they came back in the second half, did a very good job, and overcame PCA to get get the season started off right with a victory.
Most definitely. We go to week 2 scoreboard and Baker at it again. This game was not as close as the final score, 62-28, Baker over South Walton. Mariana 20, Bluntstown 14. I was surprised there after Mariana lost their first game. And Bluntstown goes on the road, and Coach Bo loses a tough one on the road, 20-14. Sneed's off to a 2-0 start. Hadn't given up a point in the first 2 games. They beat Holmes County 20-0. McCullough 37, Taylor County 16, Vernon 56 point, Port St. Joe 19. And we want to talk about one young man, Kwan Powell, that just recently committed to South Florida.
Did he really?
He had 4 touches, 4 carries. How many yards you got, Bob?
But average about 60 yards, somewhere around.
204 yards on 4 carries. Not every time he touched the ball, he scored a touchdown. 4 touchdowns on 4 carries, 204 yards rushing, and a 56-19 win over Port St. Joe. Rocky Bayou suffers their first loss of the season, their first game. They lose to Bishop Snyder 12-0. Madison County with a tough win over South Sumter 18-13. Monroe and Dade goes to 2-0 with a 14-13 winner over North Bay Haven. North Florida Christian 32, Jefferson County 0. Wasilla Christian goes to 2-0. They beat St. Francis 43-6, and another school out of Tallahassee, McClay 27, Brookwood School 13. That's all the scores that have happened in the Panhandle the first 2 weeks. Classes 1A through 4A. And now the bigger schools, the bigger classifications are going to start this week.
Now, did Bluntstown play in week 1? I'm not sure if they did.
Bluntstown did not.
Oh, they had a bye. So that was a big surprise, with Bo losing any football games. Perennial powerhouse there in Bluntstown, the Tigers, losing on the road to Mariana, who, as you mentioned, lost in their first in week 1. So, as we head into with our kickoff of high school football, opening up with Milton, hopefully Hurricane Sally, or Tropical System Sally, will stay away and allow us to play football. We hopefully will be up on the roof, but we may have to be inside the press box.
That's what we just. That's our plan, is to be up on the roof. But the best laid
plans of mice and men
always go astray.
Yeah,
often go astray.
Yep, and the Crestview game was very chilly. We decided to. You decided to set us up inside, and I think that was a smart move. And Navarre, the last time we saw Navarre, they hung 60 or so on Crestview, and that was certainly a huge surprise to everyone. And we thought that would be enough for Navarre to get into the playoffs, and unfortunately it was not. But a lot of high expectations for Navarre football this year. Have some new faces that have moved in that certainly will compete for jobs. Some old faces returned, the Big Bubbas, I think they lost just one offensive lineman from last year. We lost, starting quarterback, Marlin.
And so there'll be perhaps a quarterback by committee system, unless Jay Wallace decides on, a starter in the Milton game. But, early on, that's when you want to test things out. Because both you and your rival have hadn't had a whole lot of practice, and COVID-19 has restricted how we practice and the like.
Yeah, we've got some really good offensive players. I mean, the whole offensive line is basically back. They lose one starter from last year, and they're solid. You're 8 deep on the O-line, all seniors for Navarre, and you got some size in there with these big bubbas, led by Preston Brewer, your big guy, 6'5", 330. Elijah Melendez now up to 6'5" as well. He grew another inch, not that he needed to grow, but he's about 315, 320. And then Jeremiah Chavez Moon, 6'3", 310, 315. So you got 3 guys there, and like I said, they're 8 seniors deep.
Well, I mean, you certainly want experience, because injury or, gosh forbid, any kind of COVID situation, you want to be as deep as possible, get people reps, get folks reps early, and get them experience, because you never know, you could be one snap away from starting, such as it is. So it's been a long time, if ever, has Navarre ever had this big of an offensive line.
I'm trying to think back to when, and I mean, we've had some good size back in the day when we had Sterling Lovelady and Dylan Underbrink. Both those guys went on to play college ball. Sterling went on to Florida State, played through his junior season and got a national championship, the first Navarre Raider to ever get a national championship ring. Jordan Leggett went on to become number 2. Thought we were going to get one with Matt Cronin in baseball, but unfortunately his infield kind of let him down in that one. And they went on in Matt's junior year. And now Matt with the Washington Nationals, he's part of their 60-man roster. But we've had some other big guys in Raider history. From when they early started, you had young guys like, I'm trying to think back the first couple of years. One guy that I've became in contact with over the last few weeks with doing my countdown. You got John Simmons. He went on to play 4 years at Delta State. He was all conference there. He's now up in Arkansas coaching. He's a strength and conditioning certified coach. You had some guys there. Brandon. I'm trying to remember his last name. I guess I could just bring up my list of people here, but that may take a little bit.
Well, people had consistently looked at Niceville High School as having great talent. I think Navarre is beginning to get in the Panhandle looks for lots of talent, and you have your Pensacola schools who consistently bring out talent, but Jay Walls has done a great job here at Navarre, and he really does a good job getting the kids' name out, getting them to camps, getting them to some national exposure, if you will. And that offensive lineman that you mentioned,
Elijah Melendez,
Elijah went to some camps this summer. I saw.
Well, you got your tackles pretty well set when you got Melendez on one side and Chavez Moon on the other. Preston Brewer, one guard. I'm not sure how the setup is going to be between the guard and the center this year. I mean, you've got a lot of capable bodies there with Dawson Higginbotham being one of them. Tyler Columbine, who got a lot of playing time last year, and then like I said, you got 3 more seniors that you can plug in there as well. Now, let's see if I can. I've been working on trying to get the full roster for Navarre, and let me see of what I got so far. We can get those other. We can pull up here. You also have Lucas Marvel, another senior, Austin Gray, Marcus Feliciano. So they're 8, and then Garrett Arcio as well. I mean, so you're 8 deep on the offensive line, and Coach Walls has just got to love that, and knowing the big Bubba coach there as well.
And you put Devin Wright in at tight end.
Still only a junior.
You know, are we looking at a run game or a balanced attack? Coach has got, a couple ways to go. And
you're going to have to replace a lot at wide receiver with Tyler England gone now. But I look for A.J. Arno to step up. He had a big game against Crestview to end the season. Unfortunately, I missed it. But he did have a big game. And I just love what I saw out of Jaden Rivera last year.
Yep.
The 3 games that he got in and started, he had big games, especially the one over against Leon and Tallahassee where he went for, I think, 220 yards. He finished with over 500 yards in the 3 games that he played, and where he started. And then you got some talent there, and I like the young man that transferred in from North Carolina.
Quarterback.
He's a quarterback and safety. He's being recruited as a safety. His older brother is on the North Carolina Tar Heels with Navarre's Michael Carter. But I've heard a lot of good things out of this young man. He's a 2 or 3 star athlete, so he'll be mainly playing defense, safety, but they can bring him in as a backup quarterback as well, because he played that position the last 2 years at Pine Forest High School in North Carolina, not in here in the Panhandle. But his dad retired from the military. They moved here. I believe that they were friends. He was friends with Bailey Houston, another player that led the Raiders in tackles last year.
Yep.
They knew each other growing up because both their dads were military, and so they came visit this area. They liked it so much that this is going to be their retirement home.
That sounds familiar.
It does.
You and my dad did the same thing. And then we have on special teams, our secret weapon, Preston Penton, now a senior, getting a lot of looks from schools for his his place kicking and extra point and field goal prowess. So, looking forward to having Preston, a solid 2 or 3 year letterman, return for the Raiders and provide a solid special teams there. So a lot of positive things as we head into game 1 for the Raiders, and the kicking game is just like the offense and the defense, something that I think is going to shine. And
one thing with Preston is he worked with my son Brady this summer, NYC. Even though they were going through the COVID-19 stuff, they were able to get out to the NYSA soccer fields, and he worked with both Preston and Preston's younger brother, who's going to be a freshman this year. So we'll see another Penton coming up. His brother just learning the kicking side of things. So Brady worked with both of them this summer, and hopefully coming into this season we'll be seeing some big things out of Preston, and trying to break that school record held by Stephen Householder and Brady Hamill at 43 yards. He came close last year. He hit one from 42 in the Leon game,
right,
where he had his best game, where he hit 3 field goals that game, just a yard short. But he does have the leg, and hopefully we'll see a record-breaking season out of Preston Penton.
Yep. A lot of good things. You need to get your son over here helping coaching when he leaves his college education.
Well, that's what he's trying. He's trying to get in as a graduate assistant at Florida A&M,
right,
where he started his master's program 3 weeks ago. Trying to get on there, or maybe try to get on one of the local high schools that may just he's trying to build up the resume.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
He wants to get into coaching and eventually be an athletic director in the long run. But he's still training on the side to hopefully have a chance to make it at the next level.
Yeah, you and I talked on the phone the other day. You know, we love Graham Gano, Florida State product from, I think, Tate High School. But the NFL teams just keep regurgitating kickers, and Brady gets, a break here and there, and you never know. The right place at the right time.
Most definitely, and I'm looking forward this year. I mean, we talk about our Raiders at the next level. We do have a lot at the next level, but a lot of them are not being able to play this fall because of COVID-19, and their universities deciding to either try to go to the spring or cancel the season altogether. But we do have still quite a few playing. Tommy Leggett out at Texas Tech will be a senior this year, redshirt senior at Texas Tech.
Right.
So he'll be playing his final season. I wouldn't be surprised to see that young maybe get a chance to play at the next level. Maybe not the NFL. Maybe follow his brother's footsteps. Jordan Leggett, who's currently looking for a job, as he was let go from the Tampa Bay Bucks.
I saw that. Yeah.
But once they brought in Gronkowski, that kind of sealed his fate there in Tampa. We got other guys out there that are playing. Michael Carter, a senior at North Carolina. Huntington College, guys, we got 5 kids up there, but they're not playing. D3 not playing this year.
Is Josh Carter still playing?
Josh is currently at South Alabama. He's a sophomore. And then I'm forgetting a couple of faces. Nick Brahms at Auburn, who's a redshirt junior, and Jordan Jefferson up at West Virginia, part of the Big 12. So he'll be playing this year. He'll be a sophomore. He got a lot of limited playing time last year as a freshman, but if I know his work ethic, he's gotten bigger and he's gotten stronger. That is one massive, not massive weight-wise, massive strength-wise.
Yeah.
Very, very strong young man. But then a lot of them just not getting the opportunity to play this year.
Yep. And, the NCAA has, extended their eligibility, et cetera. But we hope that these young people are, going to continue to train and work out, certainly work on their studies, and get back in a groove as if they head into spring. Between me, you, and the fence post and the people listening, I think the only people who'll be playing in the spring might be the Ivy League. I really don't think. Tomorrow, Sunday morning, I think the Big Ten chancellors, presidents are going to get together and make a decision. Are they going to try to do a Hail Mary and say, okay, we're going to, because of from when we canceled the season to now, some rapid testing has become more accurate, et cetera, perhaps we want to start in October, which is a possibility, but they've got to make the decision. I guess, very soon, and we may know by tomorrow whether or not the Big Ten's going to play football.
Well, one thing I hope they don't do is what I've kind of felt that they've done all along is string these young men along. If they say they're going to play, they need to stand by their word and actually play. Honestly, I don't think they're going to be playing in the spring because you can't play 2 seasons in one calendar year. You're going to end up playing 25 to 30 games in one season, in one calendar year, and that is just too much. These young men have to learn, they have to recover, they have studies they have to go through. I think that's asking an awful lot.
It is, and for the seniors or the juniors that come out, or those eligible to come out, then you have the NFL spring free agent opportunities, the draft,
the combine. You got the draft coming up in April. I mean, I just don't see it happening, Bob.
No, I don't. Perhaps for the Ivy League schools who don't give scholarships, but I agree with you on that. Don't string them along, and some people had thought that the quarterback from Ohio State, Justin
Fields.
Yeah, I started to say Justin Bieber. I don't want to say Justin Bieber. Justin Fields.
They both got moves.
Yes. Yeah. Justin's got more of an NFL potential than Justin Bieber. But he was at a Georgia practice watching a couple of weeks ago, and of course, the rumor monger started. Is he going to transfer? And I had thought that perhaps he would. So
I see that we are buffering a little bit there.
Yep.
Now passing that on to our IT folks that are all watching in. Hey, Josh. Hey, Miguel. I know Miguel working a little bit overtime now. He's supposed to be off at 2 o'clock. But I appreciate you guys. We want to make sure that we're good to go come Friday night as the Raiders host Milton to kick off the 2020 season.
Yep. Long time coming. Looking forward to it. Milton is very talented. Typically, big on the offensive line, big on the defensive line, and they usually run the ball very well and provide a challenge. When we were up there, I believe last year, and if it wasn't for a game-saving tackle by one of the defensive backs from Navarre, we would have Milton would have been in great field position perhaps to take the lead, to tie or take the lead.
Just passing some messages on to them as we got a message across our screen here. But hopefully this is enough for them to go on. But just let you know that we're going to be starting our first broadcast Friday night, kickoff 7:30. We'll probably go on the air about 7. Mm-hmm. And then we'll start our first Irish Bill's Twist on Sports on the 23rd of September from Culver's or from here, depending on what's going on with both locations. This for Seminole Bob, this is Irish Bill, and hopefully you're enjoying our new setup here.
I like it. I like the setup
all around. And
poor Brady, if he comes home to visit, he may have to sleep on the couch.
He might just have to do that, which wouldn't be the first time.
But anyway, it's good to be with you in season 2. Appreciate the opportunity. You've had a long day. You were up with the Birds this morning on the Southern Gentleman Show. I listened to it. You had coach of Escambia,
Mike Bennett.
Mike Bennett.
I've known Coach. Well, I don't know him personally, but I've talked with him a few times over the years, and actually went out and covered one of his signings when he was out at Pensacola High when I was working for Panhandle Sports Broadcasting for the late Bill Brownell. Interviewed him, but one thing I love about Coach Bennett is he loves his kids, and he's going to push every opportunity for those young men to go and play at any level. It doesn't matter whether it's NAIA, Division III, Division II,
right.
Division I, AA, junior college. He tries to get every opportunities for these young men. And it's not all about football. It's about getting their education and getting them pointed in the right direction as they become adults.
And with a coach with that much longevity, he's developed contacts with the college coaches, even though some of the coaches change sometimes as much as high school coaches change. But for those coaches who are around, especially at the lower levels that hang around, Mike's developed, and that's why to me I thought Jay Walls does the same thing. I think that's one of the most important jobs a coach can do. Help their kids not only during when they're in there from freshman to senior, but beyond, giving them opportunities for an education, and then life after football, or life with football if you were lucky enough to go to the next level.
Well, I know you were listening in this morning as I was interviewing Coach, and take a couple of things away from that. It was funny because he's on a trip to Tennessee, so you could hear that they had stopped at a restaurant, I think to get gas, and I could kind of hear his family in the background. But he said, when you've been in it as long as I have, some of their athletic director that he works for now actually was one of his players.
Yeah.
And he told him someday that, you know what?
I may be
working for you. And I thought that was a great line. And he goes, because this guy was really smart, but he goes, it's nice because he goes, I've been able to keep my son who played for me, and he's on my coaching staff now.
Right.
And he's been a stalwart in the Pensacola area and in Escambia County. I mean, 18 years as the head coach at Pensacola, 2 years as an athletic director, and then missed coaching, had to get back into coaching, and he walked into a great opportunity at Escambia, where he's been, over the last 3 years, they state runner-ups last year in Class 6A, took on a very tough Miami Central team, 14-1 season, 31-7 over his first 3 years at Escambia, and only lost one district game in those 3 years, and so he's got things going in the right direction. A lot of talent over at Escambia, but I think we're going to go ahead and do a little wrap up here because I want to go watch some college football. How about you?
I do too. Seminoles are have already kicked off.
Just kicked off,
and the Catholics have already.
They started off at 1:30, so we're probably in the second quarter there.
Playing their first ever
ACC game, first ever conference game of any conference. They have never been in a conference game, so.
In football.
And in trivia, so that will be Duke. The Dukies. With a former Clemson quarterback, Bryce, who had to come in and save him a couple of years when Trevor Lawrence got hurt in his freshman season. He's now at the quarterback at Duke.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so for Seminole Bob and Irish Bill, this is a start of a new year, a new direction, 2020. Hopefully the vision gets a little bit better.
I totally agree, and it will, because our glasses are always half full.
And as we sign off with every Irish Bills twist and sports and every broadcast, and we hope the wind is ever at your back. And this is Irish Bills signing off.
God bless.
Good night, Navarre.